Welcome everyone to another Age of Mythology Retold replay review. My name is Chillbutton38. I will be your commentator today. We're going to be reviewing a relatively short game sent in by a viewer, which means for the first time in channel's history, we have two new players to introduce, so let's get right into it. Spawning in on the south side of the map, playing Zeus in the blue, we have Bounty F12. His opponent today, spawning in on the north side of the map, playing Gaia in the red, it's eshaybrah. Big shout out to Eshay. Hope it's okay if I call you Eshay. He's in a couple games this week, and we're going to be taking a look at one of them now. Right off the bat, I'm not 100% sure on this Gaia forest around the tower. I know Magic put out a build a while back that it recommends putting your forest next to your gold mine, and I think that's what you're doing here. The rest of the build looks to be conforming to that. But putting it around the tower, we'll have to check back later and see if that takes away the line of sight. And that's really not what you want to do. Tower line of sight can let you know about raids, and they can't fire at what they can't see. So if that does take away the line of sight, I'd probably move it over here, not around the tower. Let's check in on Bounty and see what we've got for scouting patterns. So it looks like the scout went off to the south first and then made its way to the center of the map. If you're the Greek player, I really think you're going to be better off sending this Kataskopos out into the center of the map right off the bat. You have a big scouting advantage in terms of speed, and that's where a lot of the hurtables are going to be. So maybe in the future send that guy out here and then make your way across and around the friendly areas, or even send him out to the middle and then send him across to your opponent's side to try and steal some of those hurtables. Eshay, meanwhile, doing a pretty standard Atlantean scouting pattern. One oracle to the middle, two oracles out to the edges, kind of moving them around. It's a pretty effective scouting pattern. You can see that he's already got most of his side of the map explored. Playing Gaia, you probably don't have to rush over to your opponent's side of the map too quickly. Prioritize seeing those pocket resources, valuable places to be, like your second town centers, your next gold mines, hunts you want to take. So, good scouting pattern by Eshay. So we've got Oceanus queued up, but not quite producing yet. Eco Guild, let's see what's going on there. Okay, so Eshay went ahead and got both hand axe and pickaxe. I think that might be a little bit greedy against a Zeus player most of the time. Both of those are going to cost food, and you really want to prioritize getting that age up in, because until you get that age up in as the Atlanteans, you cannot produce units that can protect you, right? You don't have, if you're the Norse, you can build your berserks out of the town center. If you're the Greeks, you can build your heroes out of the town center. The Atlanteans, their oracles are really lackluster in combat, and you don't really have any options to defend yourself until you get to that second age. So I'd maybe go for either hand axe or pickaxe, and then prioritize getting that age up in. Bounty, meanwhile, has not started his age up quite yet. We're going to be going up with Athena, so expect to see some Minotaur coming out. It's a favorite of Zeus players for good reason. It's a pretty strong strategy. Looks like Eshay is getting some walls up to kind of protect these pocket resources. I think that's a good call, especially against a Greek player, a Zeus player particularly. That being said, if you're going to get the walls up, I'd go ahead and get a wall up here. Maybe not quite yet. Get a wall over here. Also, what is Bounty up to? Got a villager moving north towards this pocket eco. Oh, and no villagers gathering food for Bounty right now. That is going to be a costly error. I know I've said previously that gold is the most important resource in this game, and I stand by that to a certain extent, but food is going to be a close second. Food is what allows you to train villagers. Villagers are what allow you to win games. So you're going to want to have at least 3 to 4 food gatherers pretty much at all times, no matter what. So we could go on to these berries. If you're Zeus, you're probably safe to go ahead and take some of these hunts on the map, but we gotta get those food gatherer numbers up because we're about to start idling the town center. And it looks like Bowdy might be distracted a little bit getting this proxy base up. We're going to have a military academy and an archery range coming up just to the north of Ishay's base. See how that works out. Ishay, meanwhile, taking a second town center.
Right.
6 minutes in. It's not a bad timing for a second town center. Definitely what you want to be going for with Gaia. Play into that eco advantage as much as you can. It looks like we might be a little low on the food gatherers. I know that the second town center was a priority, but food is, like I said, very important for making military units and those villagers. So if you don't have any food when you take the second town center, you're not going to be able to get maximum value out of it. And in recognition of that, Ishay is going to start off taking these elephants, dropping down a manor. Oh, a small skirmish in the middle of the map. A couple of Minotaurs against 2 heroes. The Oracle's probably going to be going down. Even hero-wise, these guys are just not it in combat. This Murmillo, though, he's going to be able to get some damage off. 1 Minotaur is going to have to retreat, but I don't think he's going to make it out. Yeah, 4.5 move speed against 4.8. That Minotaur is going to go down. Both of these Murmillos are heroes now. The second Minotaur might be going down, and that's just very costly for Bowdy. Myth units, they're really expensive, and even though, they can be really powerfully used to rush early in the game, you gotta prioritize keeping them alive, because replacing them is just so costly. That one's gonna be able to get away. She might be able to get a little villager damage off here. Yep, there we go. Proxy base, meanwhile, starting to pop hoplites out up here. No Toxotes yet. Does Ishay know about this? No, he doesn't. I don't think he knows at all. Oh, man. We've got an Oracle here. It's easy to say you should send him over here so you can see this with the ability to see the whole map. But I would like to see this Oracle, getting some line of sight somewhere, maybe on one of these town centers. It's like a carnivore went down in support of that central aggression. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Just because these guys, their big draw is their ability to swallow soldiers whole. And there are 3 types of units, to my knowledge, that they can't do that with. Heroes, myth units, and villagers. So you really want to be using these carnivora for aggression against the military so that you get that instant soldier kill off. It's almost like a lightning bolt that keeps on dealing damage afterwards in that case. Looks like Ishay's going to be going in for some sort of aggression out here. Got a lot of Terma out now. None of them are heroes. I'm not sure how I feel about the Terma. We haven't seen Bowdy make any units that these guys are effective against at this point. I mean, the myth units are going to absolutely shred these guys, and the heroes are going to do pretty good against them too, to be honest, because they're not ranged units. So maybe, if you want to get a couple Terma out to counter potential Toxotes, I get that, but maybe just a couple of them and then build some more Murmillo, because we know that the Murmillo have been really effective against Bowdy's unit comp up to this point. 3 Minotaurs out now. That 1 low health Minotaur survives still. Looks like Jason's going to be going down, but Heracles is coming in. And the Greek heroes, I mean, they're going to take this fight comfortably against these Terma. They're not dealing hardly any damage to them. And the Minotaur are going to get on the Terma and thin their numbers out a little bit. I bet this, yeah, this Murmillo is going to go down as well. And at this point, it looks like Ishay's just going to have to pull back into his base. Bowdy's in a decent position here. Can't afford to lose that Heracles, though. Pushes up just a little far. Villagers in the mix, too. Definitely going to be going down. The proxy base, meanwhile, has got some units out. So this is potentially pretty bad for Ishay. Unless all these units go down in the base right now. Yep, and with those heroes coming through, I bet those Minotaurs are... It's time to get out. Heracles goes down. Again, that's just really costly to have to remake those Greek heroes. These Minotaur are going to have to pull all the way back. They're being pursued by heroes, and if they don't get away, they're not going to make it out. That's really unfortunate for Bowdy, because this proxy base up here has not been detected. Ishay... Yeah, Ishay still doesn't know about the proxy base. So if Bowdy could have gotten those units to rendezvous with these units, that could have been a really good fight. Looks like Ishay's going to shut down Bowdy's attempt at taking a central town center pretty handily. One Minotaur going to be going down. We're down to just the one 10 HP and a Dream Minotaur. That's not ideal. So this is a problem that I've had in some of my games. Magic made a video recently where he mentioned that taking these forward town centers over these safe pocket town centers, very rarely going to pay off. Even if you do manage to get it up, they're just so much easier to punish and siege down than these pocket town centers are, because the reinforcement time from both players is about equal here in the center. So Bowdy, I think, recognizing that he's a little behind score-wise in this game, thought, I'll get a second town center out here, try to get some villagers out. Oh, we got a big attack on Ishay's base. Villagers get pulled, but they don't get garrisoned. They're going to be losing some villagers here. That's not ideal. The military is going to get back in time to start cleaning this position up. Those villagers are still going to be going down left and right. So, whenever your base gets raided like this, Ishay, what I'd really recommend doing, click on these villagers here, they're going to have a button, Alt plus C. You can either click that button or hit Alt C, and that's going to make them seek shelter in the nearest building. Pulling the villagers, obviously, is a good idea, but sheltering them in a building is going to be arguably better. And with that, Ishay takes the game. Bowdy realizes that he's not going to be able to rebuild his army in time to do any real damage, and that's going to be GG. Let's take a look at the graphs here. So Bowdy did have a military value advantage for a significant amount of time over Ishay, and probably could have taken a good fight anywhere from the 9:30 to 11-minute mark, right? But once those Minotaurs started going down, they're really the powerhouse of Bowdy's army. It was going to be hard to come back into the game after that. Well, let's take a look at these resources here. Yeah, so this food shortage for the Greek player was, as I said, very costly. Let's see. Yeah, the town center was idled for some time, which was exacerbated whenever, Ishay got a second town center out. So definitely, don't be afraid. If you're running out of food and you don't want to go out on the map, just make the farm transition. I know that the pro players, they always, don't want you to make the farm transition too early because it's slower gathering. But at the end of the day, if you don't have the APM or map control to support taking the hunts, it's better to have some slow gathering farms at your base than to not have any food at all. Anyway, good games to both players. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and hit that subscribe button. And as always, if you'd like one of your replays to be featured in my next video, leave me a comment down below with your gamer tag, what matchups or games you'd like me to look at, and I will grab some replays from AOM Stats. That's all I've got for you guys today, so until next time, good luck, have fun, and I'll see you in the next game.